Part 2 of modeling the future prison here, and I want to do some work on this. So I'm going to focus just on that. And I want to put some divisions in this so it looks like it's made of 3 parts. Now I could separate it, or I could just drag in an edge loop here and another one close to there, let's say. And I could just bevel those and pull them in a little bit. And I think I'll do it that way. E and Alt S and pull. And then I'll Shift Alt and click these edges. And I'll put like 1 division in there. I'll deal with shading in a bit. The next thing I want to do is I want to come into here and I want to select all these edges around the sides of all of the panel-like areas, and we're going to bevel those. So I'm getting this. I don't know why I hold down Shift. I'm just so used to it. I probably don't need to. It's 1 edge. But I'm just used to it, so we'll do that. Okay, 2 more. This one and this one. Okay. I'll zoom out a little bit. Control B, pull. Make a nice area like that, and then roll my mouse up around it. Now that edge is too sharp, so we're going to hold down Shift now. We're going to go around here, but we're going to make sure that we get everything. As you can see, I have to hold down Shift and make sure I get the entire edge going all the way around. And we'll bevel that, and that'll catch light, and that'll look smoother and nice. Oops. And down here as well. Let's make sure I got that edge. There we go. I think I have everything, so yeah, so let's just kind of look from the side a little bit. Control B and pull, and roll my mouse to 0, and I'll just put a couple in there. You see, a little bit nicer. Now what we need to do is we need to go all the way around the front and the back. So holding down Shift and just making sure that I get all of it. There's the front. And there's the back. This one can be a little deeper. And I'll roll my mouse up a little bit more, like that. Okay, let's just make sure we shade smooth. So over here on the bevel, let's put that to angle. And let's switch this, or add weighted normal and auto smooth. This is what we get. So I think it's looking okay. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to take this piece right here. I'm going to Shift D to duplicate it, pull it out, T to break it out. So I've got that. And I'll go into vertex selection. Now if I just press I to inset, I can come in a little ways, but I could potentially cross. So I want to make sure that I don't cross over. I just want a small piece there. Let's delete that face and see if that's big enough for what I want to do. Let's extrude it back, but delete the back face. And then come in and grab these and bevel that. Control B, and let's see. Just like that. let's try pushing that in and seeing if we get a nice kind of border. I might want to sink it in and have that. Just wondering if it's wide enough for what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, select those faces and Control plus a few times till I get right to there. Now, what if I scale Shift X and then scale in the Z? I'm trying to get pretty even, just for a bit thicker. Let's go with that. Press 3 to look from the front. And let's Shift D, copy it down to there. And then in wireframe, press 1 for vertex selection and box select the bottoms and pull them down. Let's just have a look at that. Okay, so that's all as one piece. Let's go in again and in wireframe, box select all of this, Shift D, and pull it down to the bottom one. It doesn't matter if it doesn't line up perfectly. You know, it'll look a little bit off, and that it looks a little bit like, you know, normal construction. Okay, so we got that. Cool. Next thing we're going to do is come in again and grab that. Shift D, pull it out. P to break it out. And make little buttons out of this from the front. Wireframe, and I'm going to box select this and pull it in and make sort of square buttons. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it down. I guess I got to pull it in till it's on the inside of this frame. So I'm box selecting each bit. I'm not just scaling, so I keep the curvature that I want. I think I want. Let's just start by looking at that. Let's take that and let's extrude it back, but delete the back face. And then get the front. Let's try inset without crossing. And setting again, and then S to scale. Now I'll come in and I'll grab the outer edge. I'm going to try just beveling that one. I'm seeing if I like that. I'm not sure that I do. So I think I'll take this one as well and bevel it like that. And another thing that I might do is grab this face and Control plus till I get to the outer edge there. I think that's it. And I'm going to try just scaling it and making it go like that. Let's try pushing it back in. And I want it to extend past. Let's see if I like that. Let's scale that in the Z a little bit. No, let's not. Let's scale it back in. Okay. Let's take that now, and it's got all the modifiers from that I copied, which is good. Let's do an array in the Y. So we'll zero out the X, and we'll see if I can get 4 of these on here. And just hold down Shift and play with the array, play with the Y there. Okay, so these are flat if I decide I want to put some text on there, or it might be too small for that. Okay, good. Let's save that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I want some sliders on here. So I'm going to select that face one more time. And this time I'm actually going to, how do I want to do this? Well, okay, we'll P to break it out. So I got that piece there. I'm going to focus just on that. Okay, go into edit mode and select it, and Shift S, cursor is selected to bring my 3D cursor there. I'm going to do booleans here, but in order to do that, I'm going to have to give this a bit of thickness. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to extrude it back. And for now, I'm going to delete all the modifiers and all that stuff. And I get a shapefile again, just so that I've got that. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in a, you can do it anyway. I like using planes. Scale that down. Let's rotate Y90. Pull it out a bit from the front. Scale that in the Y. So I'm making the sort of indentations here. So I'm going to scale this in the Z a little bit more. And I'll just push that through. We'll use that to cut through. So now I just want to figure out how big I want that. It's probably okay. So I'm going to grab these edges in edge selection, and I'm going to bevel them so I get a rounded hole. Control B, just like that. Good enough. Okay, look from the front. And what I think I'll do is, let's mirror that. Is that what I want to do? Okay. I'll go ahead and apply that. And then I'll come in and I'll Control L to select that. And then I'm just going to duplicate this right into the middle. So I got all that right there. So I guess I'm ready to do my cut. Okay, I'm going to select my main panel here. Boolean. Difference. And select these guys. I hit apply. Let's hide those. Okay, so it didn't work. So let's have a look at what happened here. First of all, face orientation. You can see these are red and this is blue. They're facing the wrong way. So go into edit mode and recalculate outside. Select that. Add the Boolean again. Do it again. I can get rid of those. And now I have that. And then what I'll do is I'm going to come in here, and hopefully the topology isn't too bad. I'm going to select all these outer edges. I don't want the inside edges. Yeah. So what I think I'm going to do here is, I really don't need the back anyhow, so I'm going to get rid of as much of the back as I can. Okay. So now I'm going to come around and select these edges. And I am going to try not to get anything I don't want. Let's give it a try. Control B. Just a small bevel like that. Let's bring stuff back. Let's see where we're at. Focus on that. Okay, I think we're all right. The 3D cursor is right there, so I might as well work on the next part. So I'm going to take a plane. Okay, let's rotate Y90. Let's scale in the Z and make some kind of a slider thing. Extrude it out. And I'm going to pinch it in, scale this in the Z like that. Grab, let's see. Let's take this back face, extrude it back, but delete it. So get that. And we'll take this and we'll inset it a little bit and push it in, extrude it in. Maybe scale in the Y and scale in the Z to do that. Let's try a bevel on that. I'll go for 3, 0.01. I think I want it a bit thicker. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in another plane and make this sort of the stock on that. Something like that. And maybe a little bit smaller. I'll extrude it up like that. Take this and pull it in, delete that face. And let's see. I'm going to come in here. Good, I can get rid of that. I'm just going to extend it in a ways. I might scale down the Y a little bit. And then I think I'll just bevel these edges by hand, selecting the edges. Control B. And just make sure I got a few segments in there. I can shade smooth that. And that's what I get. So if I take those from the front and I duplicate it here, and pull that one up, duplicate another one, and position them wherever you want. So got that so far, and then with the 3D cursor still there, for this one I think I'm going to add a circle. I'll make it something like 16, pretty low, low-fi, low poly. We're going to rotate Y90. F to make a face. Let's pull it out. E to extrude and delete that back face. And let's just grab this and bring it over here, but scale it down. Make it relatively large. Let's Alt-N, recalculate outside just in case. Take this face and Control B. I'm going to roll my mouse down to 0 and do something like this. I don't know how terrible that's going to look. It's certainly not going to look very good shade smooth. So, let's see if I inset and pull it in. I don't know if I want that. Maybe even Control 1. It's just a different kind of a bolt. Screw thing, whatever. And face selection, I'd inset, do that. I don't know if that's going to look any good, but let's push that into here. Okay, hang on a second. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, my 3D cursor is still right there, so I am going to take this and set the origin to the 3D cursor and then mirror this in the Y. Let's see what happens if I do it in the Z as well. Okay, I'm not quite crazy about that yet. I'm going to scale it and just drag it down a little bit. Let's make sure it's visible. Now where those are pretty good. So I can put some text on there if I want. This I'll leave as a panel to look at. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to make a thing, you know, where you slide your ID card through to operate it. So we're going to do that. Just before I do that, let's just go ahead and shade smooth these things. I might need to throw on this weighted normal. I probably will, so I might as well just do that right now. See a small change in that there. Now, some of that's getting propagated along, some of it isn't. So what I'll do, I just want to revisit these. They might be too wide for my liking, so I'm going to scale this in the Y. And is that centered? Yeah, I'm just going to quickly redo those. I can't tell. I guess it's okay. I'm just going to copy it over. Okay, so I'm going to take these and move them into is it the jail cell? Yeah, okay, so now they're over there. And same thing with these bolts. Really, I probably should do them in Substance Painter. I enjoy the modeling more than I enjoy the texturing, and so I tend to do a lot of the stuff in the modeling. Okay, I'm all right with that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on that again. And I'm going to come over here to this piece here. And I think I will take that, copy it, pull it out, P to break it out, and look from that side, and just position this and scale it up. I might start with that, and then I'm just going to extrude out. Actually, you know what? I'll extrude in so I can just delete that face easily. And I'm going to grab these edges and just bevel them by hand. I still have the other modifiers on, so we'll see how that goes for me. I can't see how many segments I got there. Roll my mouse up a bit, grab the top, and I'll bevel that a little bit. Just like that. I just want that piece there, and it might not be wide enough. So look from the side and in wireframe, and not in wireframe, and vertex selection. I'm going to pull that out. And it may not be long enough either, but we're going to start with that. That piece is going to be there. And so let's take that, select it, and Shift S, cursor to select it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another circle. Now I'll probably put a subdivision on this, so 16 is probably just the bare minimum I could get away with, but let's zoom in on that. Let's rotate Y 90. Let's pull it out actually. I want this part. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to get rid of those vertices. I want that. Maybe not that deep, so let's try scaling the Y and see how this is going to go. Let's take these 2 points in E and SZ, pull it out, and then take the whole thing, E, pull it back, and then SY0 to straighten that out. Okay, Control 1 for the moment. I'll probably have to go to 2. All right, at any rate, let's extrude it out, give it a bit of thickness, and then let's bevel that, and do that to bit edge loops, like that. And I think I'll bring one up here, and probably there, and there. in wireframe, I'll come in and in 3 face selection, I'll box select there. I can get rid of those faces and that'll help. Let's see what we're getting at so far. Now, that doesn't match that, does it? Let's make the whole thing bigger. And let's just try duplicating that for the moment. Getting a sense for how big that is. Okay. So what I need to do, I think, oops, let's grab that. Let's try to scale that in the Y so it's less deep. I'm going to just scale this in the Z and do that. Okay. I might just accentuate the thing, you know, because it's pretty small when you see that. Let's start with that. In fact, this might be sticking out too much for my liking. So I'm going to narrow it. Let's try that, and let's bring in just a simple plane, make a sort of a fake ID card. Something like that. With those selected, let's do Shift Control B to bevel those corners in 1, 2, 3, and then select it and come back, give it some thickness, but not too much. And then those 2 edges, front and back, Control B again, that kind of thing. Shade smooth. Probably get some shading error. So I think I'll probably do quick bevel, angle, weighted normal, and auto smooth. Push that in. Is that too small? I think I'm just going to globally scale the thing. I can put it there for the moment. I don't know. That might be too small. Well, you get the idea. No, I don't like that yet. Okay, I'll keep working on that. I think I want it longer. I don't lose my curvature too much, so I'm just going to do this. All right, good enough. Can I bring that stuff back? Let me make sure. Yeah, okay, lots of problems here. All this red stuff is flipped the wrong way. So I'm just going to grab all that, Alt N, cut it outside, see what else. And that's the inside, so don't worry about that. Okay, that should be a little bit better. So let's just quickly look at this. Quickly throw on the shadow just to see how it's looking. I'm finding this looking kind of wimpy, so I might make that whole thing bigger. Maybe it's the position as well I don't like. Maybe I want it up here. I'm just going to do this, globally scale it, pull it out, and position it. We'll see. We will see. Okay, so I got that. Now, I'm going going to come in on this side now, and I'm going to take, I think, this Shift-D, P to break it out, and make this a little bit more square by scaling in the X, like that. I'm going to extrude it back, delete those faces. I am going to get rid of the modifiers on this, because I copied it in here, it's the modifiers, and even shade flat. Take this, and I'm going to inset a ways, even more. Put edge loops like that, so I got sort of a square area there with 4 polys, and then I'm going to just do that. I'm going to use loop tools and convert it to a circle. I'm going to inset and then extrude out to form a little stock. I'm going to extrude out again. I'm going to delete those faces. Control 2, why not? And then I'm going to bring an edge loop up here. And that's kind of what I'm going for right there. Maybe a little sharper than that though. Okay. And then I'm going to, I might make that narrower. So scale Shift Y, do it like that. Grab that edge here and bring my 3D cursor there. And then I'm going to bring in a cube, which will be huge, and S to scale it way down. Start with that. Control 2, shade smooth, and I'm also going to add the cast to make it a little bit rounder. I don't know how noticeable. Edge loop there, and we'll delete those faces, but we also have a face in here to delete. That one. Take this E and S, come in, and we're going to start with that. Let's apply those modifiers. Okay, and let's see how much extra crap I got in here. Actually, maybe get rid of that one, dissolve edges. Take this one and scale it in. And I'm going to take the whole thing and push it onto there. I'm going to do Control 1 for one more. And that's a little bit sharp for me. I think, well, is it? Or do I want to do that anyhow? No, maybe it's fine. It's kind of like a panic button in a way. Or something like that. And now I'm going to grab those 4 and Control plus. I'm going to hide inset and then loop tools again, circle. And then I'm going to just bring it in. And then hide inset one more time. So I have just like a little bit more detail. This, however, is too thick for me. So I'm going to pull that back. So it's more like a metal plate. Okay, let's grab those both and let's pull them in. And I want this, yeah, about there. About there, because I'm going to put something up above that. In fact, this is going to have to go down now that I think about it, because I want to do something else up there. I don't want them exactly the same height. Now, is this guy going on there? Okay, part of it is. This part here, I need to move into jail cell. So it's propagated along. Now, let's see how many polys. You know, it's not too bad so far, so I'm not too worried about it. So we're just, you know, I blocked it out, and now I'm adding a little bit more detail. Nothing crazy here. What I do want to do, my 3D cursor's right there, so that's okay. So let's bring in a cylinder now, and just go for like 18. Yeah, I'll leave the ends on. Make it a little bit easier. And I want to make an antenna. It's just pretty obvious stuff. Scale Shift Z. And I'll grab that face and pull it up and scale it down like this. And then bevel it, Control B. Just watching that it doesn't cross in the front. That was enough. Control 1. However, we'll get rid of this bottom face. And that'll change that up. Shade smooth. Okay, I'll do that. And then I'm going to borrow this. Take that, scale it. I'm going to rotate X 90. I think I'll break it out and use it on its own. So scale it a bit bigger. Actually, maybe a bit smaller. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to extrude it back like this. E and S will come out. E, go back in. We're going to bevel that, of course, but just by one. And we're going to put a subdivision surface, or edge loop there, and edge loop there. Let's shade smooth this thing. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and E and S, come in. I'm going to go F, but then I'm going to inset, and I'm going to extrude it in, and inset one more time. And I'll probably bevel that with one. I'll get that. Now, I'm going to select all that and Shift S cursor selector. Bring my 3D cursor there. Select that, but switch to 3D cursor. And I'm going to rotate in the Y. And just clear the bar there. I may even move this forward so it's not perfectly in line. So that's something I was thinking of doing, and did, apparently. And then I'm going to take the whole thing, and I think I will Shift D, drag it over here. Let's just turn that off. Come in here, rotate Z 90. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Rotate Z 180. And yeah, it's not perfectly mirrored or anything based on how I'm doing this, but that's okay. I'll just position it. And let's grab that and Shift S. Nope, let's not do that. Shift S, cursor selected. And then this thing here, we'll switch back to 3D cursor again, and we'll rotate in the Y, and just, you know, position it kind of like that. Save. Okay, so far so good. This stuff here, I'm going to come in and I want to Shift D and G. I want to move that up and out and bigger. Okay, let's go back to median point and bigger. Up there. We're gonna break this out so it's separate, and let's make sure that we are making contact here. Another detail that could be done in Substance Painter. I'm going to let's say we apply the mirror, but let's go in because these are obviously not in the right place. So I'll just box select a bit and go Control L and look from the front, and then I'll just move these down just for another little bit of detail. And to be quite honest with you, I kind of want them on the back as well, so I'm going to do that. Shift D. I'm going to take them, I'll come in and I'm going to rotate Z 180. I doubt you would ever see the back, and I probably shouldn't do it for that reason, but I can't help myself. I don't know if those are too small for the back with a plate. Now, is that what I wanted to do? Was that it for the time being? Let's have a look again with the shadow, and let's try. Oh, see the darkness there? I have a feeling. Yep. So I'm going to come around and recalculate those, and this one. Okay, that's everybody. shut that off. I do like using that matte cap for looking at it, but I also like this one. It doesn't look very real, but it just makes the modeling look smooth, and I can check my shading with that one. All right, so let's just make sure everything is propagating along, which it's not yet, just what the antennae. And so that's what we're getting so far. There's more that I want to do there, to be honest with you. But I think once we get that detail, and really these sliders might be a little too small, you know, viewed like this. So I might exaggerate them by making them sort of longer, I guess, in the Z. So we see them a little bit better, and it's obvious what it is. But we'll definitely be doing more details on almost everything. All right, so thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.